Here we go, the Specialized Aethos and why it bugs me. Let's get into it. Arriba! So here it is, the Specialized Aethos. Yeah, hilarious, Bikotic. So here it is, the Specialized Aethos. Or should I say S-Works Aethos. So there's a few things about this bike that bug me. One especially, it's how much money? This is rather expensive, wouldn't you say, old chap? Which is annoying because I really like one. Maybe not in this colour, but yeah, it's definitely tweaked my desire for this bike. And yeah, I'm a bit gutted that it's so expensive because there's never in a million years that I'm ever going to own one. So that's a bit tragic, isn't it, really? So what else bugs me? Well, the marketing bump that comes with the Aethos. Is it Aethos? Aethos, not Athos. Aethos. Must be something to do with like Roman or Greek gods or something like that. I can't find anything. I mean, leave a comment down below if I'm not searching in the right place, but the only thing that I could find on Google was Aethos. Translated from Welsh means I went. Well, that's not very Greek or Roman, is it? So yeah, if you know what this Aethos word is, let me know in the comments down below. Now the other thing that bugs me, and this is the last thing that bugs me, let's get it out of the way, is I don't really know what to compare this bike to. And seeing as that's what I do on this channel, compare bikes, I'm left a bit stuck really because I don't actually have one to try out. But just looking at it, it kind of reminds me of, in the car world, you can get yourself an old Jaguar E-Type from the 60s, give it to a company and they will absolutely gut it and bring it bang up to date with modern parts and technology, so that effectively you have this beautiful car from the 60s that drives like a modern car. And that's kind of what this bike reminds me of. It's this kind of retro but bang up to date feel that it has. Of course, in bike terms, putting a set of disc brakes on this old racing bike probably isn't going to have the same effect. Anyway, looking on the Specialized website, they've got a whole piece on Peter Denk, who is this chap here, and yes, this is the picture that they have of him on the Specialized website, some sort of weird Western wanted poster. But this guy here has got a very impressive palmarès of bikes that he's worked on, not least of which the Cannondale SuperSix EVO, a highly respected bike. And there's actually a very good video of him talking about how he went about designing the Aethos, the Aethos, how do you say it? Aethos, that's it. How he went about designing the Aethos, and he's very passionate about it and very enthusiastic, and it's actually quite a good watch, so give it a go. Now, like I say, I'm not 100% keen on this colour, but you can also get it in this colour here, which I definitely prefer, in Dura Di2, as opposed to the SRAM RED eTAP access group set, and I think that looks rather lovely, doesn't it? Got incredibly skinny seat stays, and it's incredibly skinny here. And this is some of what Peter Denk talks about in his video, is how they, well, apparently he sat and looked at it flexing in a test rig and blah blah blah. But the upshot of this is that they managed to get the frame weight down to something ridiculous, so that the complete weight of this bike, I think, is about 6.12 kilograms. So pretty light really for a disc brake bike. Like I say, it's definitely got me pretty juiced up. I think I'd like one. Now, I definitely do like the fact that we've got completely conventional parts on it, a standard looking stem and handlebars, but at the same time I'm completely sold on the hidden cable aesthetic of the new integrated bikes. So why can't we just, somebody come up with a cool way of having a normal stem, normal bars, normal head tube, and we just somehow hide the cables? Wouldn't that be cool? That would be lovely. Sadly, we can't. So what to compare this bike to? Well, I've heard people talking about it harking back to the Tarmac SL5, so I thought we'd get one of those up. Here's the Tarmac SL5. And, well, I can't see much similarity there, other than, I guess the seat tube is very, very similar. And we've got conventional stem there, but apart from that, they're not particularly similar, are they? So that's the Tarmac SL5. How about pretty much my favourite Tarmac, which is the SL6 Ultralight, which is this one here. And I can definitely feel a similar sort of aesthetic between the two bikes. They've got that lightweight kind of feel to them that I really like. But apart from that, the new Aethos doesn't appear to be borrowing many lines from the Tarmac SL6. Still fairly different. Now of course when the SL6 came out, lots of other manufacturers started dropping the seat stays. People started moaning about the fact that all bikes were looking the same, blah blah blah. So in fact the new Aethos doesn't have the drop seat stays, but what it has is a more sloping top tube, which is effectively bringing down the seat stays quite a bit anyway. And I know that this new bike prides itself on its comfort, so presumably that plays a role in that. Okay, so what about the latest SL7? Well, here we go. Again, I can't see many similarities between the two. Obviously the geometry at the end of the day is similar-ish. Stacks a bit higher on the Aethos and a slightly shorter reach. And don't get me wrong, I like the SL7, think it's a nice bike. But to my eye, the Aethos almost makes the SL7 look a bit vulgar. Crikey, I'll probably get ripped to pieces for that in the comments, but yeah, this just looks so nice. Now another bike I wanted to just have a quick look against, because in the photos the finish and the colour look slightly similar. I'm sure it's completely different in real life, but it's the Diverge. Also just to remind ourselves how different a gravel bike geometry is. But actually, out of all the bikes so far, this has got the most similar top tube. Quite interesting. I guess the Diverge kind of looks slightly more rusty. Similar type of paint job maybe, I guess. So that's the Diverge. So competition wise, I've racked my brains and I can't really think of anything to really compare to this bike really. I'm hoping that maybe you guys can think of some. If you can, leave some comments down below. But what I did was I went through my library and had a look through the sort of more lightweight all-round racing bikes from the other manufacturers. The first one I looked at was this one, the TCR from Giant. And at first glance you think, nope, completely different. However, actually the down tube on the Giant is remarkably similar. Likewise the forks are actually quite similar from this side profile anyway, which I thought was interesting. Down tube remarkably similar, and actually the rear triangle here, there's a few little similarities. Still can't believe how skinny these seat stays are, and the chain stays are so skinny. Amazing. TCR probably comes the closest in the skinny stakes. Merida Scultura. Well, it's quite similar around here, I guess, just in position wise. And the top of the forks in a very similar place. Quite interesting. What about the latest SuperSix EVO? Nope. No similarity there. Very different. What about the Scott Addict RC? Nope. Again, very different. Got the difference in chainstay thickness here. That just shows how skinny it is around here. Big and chunky on the Scott there. Whew. What about the Emonda? Another one of my favourite bikes to look at. Pretty slender chainstays, I guess, but still doesn't beat the Aethos. But again, pretty different. So like I say, if you want this bike, basically there's two versions and they both cost this much money. There's the Dura Race Di2 and the SRAM RED eTAP Access group set. That's your lot to choose from at the moment. Maybe one day they'll expand the range. Otherwise, you can just buy the frame set, which comes in various different colours. The sort of off-white pink, slightly gaudy green, gold, glittery one, straight up grey. I think that's basically the one we were looking at a second ago. And then possibly my favourite one is this sort of deep tealy green with sort of gold fades on the forks. And there's no pictures of this actually built up as a bike, so I thought what I would do is I'd actually have a crack at that and see if I could actually Photoshop up a green one, which comes out like this. Pretty close to that colour, I guess. Now Specialized are watching. Christmas is coming, and if they would like to give me a nice Christmas present, then yeah, thanks very much. Although, looking at that, I think I actually prefer this one. So scrap that, Specialized. I'll have this one, please. Hopefully you haven't put that order in already. Perfect. Well, that's my brief look at the Specialized S-Works Aethos Aethos? Aethos, not Aethos. Yeah, that name does bug me slightly. So cool, yes, I like it. Very nice indeed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Especially let me know if you're going to actually buy one. I'd be very interested to know how you're planning to finance it. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Until next time.